Hello and welcome, yogi, to your yoga class. My name is Maria, and today I will be guiding you through a gentle hips yoga flow. This flow is going to be for all levels and no props needed. However, if you have any pillows or any blocks that you want to use that you know can support you in a hips opening yoga flow, then bring them along, but I will offer modifications where we won't need any blocks. So meet me on your mat. We're going to begin in child's pose, wide-legged extended child's pose. Bring your knees out as wide as you can get them, as wide as the mat, and bring your toes, your big toes to touch back behind you. Send your hips back towards your heels and walk your arms forward towards the front of the room. Let your forehead rest on the floor. And we'll take a moment here to settle in, breathe into our hips, to open them up and warm them up. Inhale, send that breath to your low back, to your hip creases. And exhale, maybe relax your heart a little more towards the earth. Inhale, big breath into your low belly and fill up your whole torso. Exhale to let it all go and relax your heart towards the ground a little more. Inhale and exhale to maybe sit your hips and your sits bones back a little more, bending more into those hip creases. When you're ready, start to walk your hands back just a little and then lift your forehead off the ground and walk yourself up, push yourself up with your hands. Spread your fingers wide, bring your wrist underneath your shoulders, and then push down into all 10 knuckles. Your knees underneath your hips, coming into a tabletop position for a moment here. Inhale to look up. Exhale to round the chin into your chest, coming into a slight cat pose. And then bring your right leg, your right foot in between your hands. As you round through, you're making room for that leg, that knee to come up and in. Stack your right knee on top of your right ankle, coming into a low lunge here. Feel free to heel toe or walk your feet up on the mat, keeping your knee on top of your ankle, but sinking your hips down a little more if you need a little bit extra. Staying on your fingertips here, lifting through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the chin just a little bit to create a little bit of length through the back of the neck. Inhale, reach the crown of the head towards the front of the room. And exhale to maybe sink the hips a little deeper. Inhale, maybe come out of the low lunge just a little as you fill up your body with air. And exhale, sink in, sink your hips a little closer to the ground. On your next inhale, lift up through the chest. Walk your right hand to the inside of your right foot, and then heel toe that foot to the outside of your mat, so the right edge of your mat. Send your toes out a little bit, maybe coming into a 45-degree angle with that right foot. Left leg stays where it is, coming into a lizard lunge. Option to come onto the knife edge of that right foot, that right leg, pushing the knee out a little bit, finding a deeper stretch, a different stretch through the hips. Option to come onto your elbows here to find a deeper stretch as well, but trying to keep your hips level with one another. Heel toe that foot back towards the center, and then bring your hands to frame that foot. Plant your hands, and then send that right knee back to meet your left knee. On your next inhale, send your heart forward, ground down through all 10 knuckles and spread the fingers wide. Exhale, tuck your chin into your chest, create space, and bring that left foot up towards the front of your mat, in between your hands. Bring your left knee on top of your left ankle and heel toe that foot up until you find a stretch through your hips, through that right psoas. Keeping your left knee stacked on top of your left ankle, coming onto the fingertips. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, maybe to sink your hips a little closer to the ground. If your hips are a little tighter, you might come out of the low lunge a little bit and maybe walk your feet back. Inhale, maybe you come out of it a little bit. Exhale, sink your hips a little closer to the earth or to the ground. Inhale, fill up your belly, come out of it a little bit. And exhale, sink in. Bring your left hand to the inside of that left foot and heel toe your left foot out to the outside, the edge of the mat, the left side of the mat. Maybe your toes hang over the edge a little bit, bringing your foot to a slight 45-degree angle. Option to come onto the knife edge, outer edge of that left foot and bringing the knee out just a little bit, but straight line between your knee and your ankle here. Staying on your hands or on your fingertips, option to come onto your elbows here. Or option to stay on the palm of your hands. If you have a block or something to help to lift you up, that also works. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, maybe you sink in a little more. Heel toe that left foot back in towards center, and then send that left foot back to meet your right knee. From here, you're going to cross your ankles back behind you and sit your hips back, coming into a seated position. Meet me at the front of your mat. Bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet to touch the ground or touch the mat. We're going to slowly roll down one vertebra at a time until your head touches the ground. Snuggle your shoulder blades underneath your heart space. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Bring your heels in just a little bit. And let the knees fall wide. And you might find a little back bend in your lower back as you come into this supine Baddha Konasana, supine bound angle pose. Palms are facing up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. And if this isn't comfortable for you, bring your hands to the outside of your knees, bring your knees to face the sky, and instead heel toe your feet to be as wide as the mat, and bring your knees in. Sometimes our hips and our low back are connected, so for now, protecting your low back might be a little bit more important for you. Just taking a few more breaths here. Bring your hands to the outside of your knees if you're still in bound angle pose to meet in center. From here, bring your knees in towards your chest, everybody, to give yourself a big hug, wind release pose. Inhale and exhale to send and extend the right leg straight out in front of you, keeping your left leg bent. Send your left knee towards your armpit, and then start to stack your left heel, your left ankle on top of your left knee. Grab onto anywhere on your leg, your thigh, your calf, or the outside of your foot, coming into a half baby pose here. Keeping your low back and your shoulders grounded on the ground here. Pushing down through that right leg as well to find a stretch through the psoas as we're opening up and stretching through the left hip as well. Inhale, breathe into the low back, press the low back into the mat. And exhale to maybe pull your knee a little closer in. Inhale, and then exhale, release, bend that left knee and send that heel towards your hip, towards your sits bones. Bring your right knee into your chest and then extend that left knee straight out in front of you. From here, bring your right knee up towards your right armpit and then start to stack your right heel on top of your right knee, right ankle on top of the right knee. Grab onto anywhere on your leg and pull that leg, pull that knee, that thigh up towards your torso and that armpit. Inhale. And exhale to maybe bring your knee a little bit closer. Coming into half baby pose on the other side. Ground down through that left leg, ground down through the hips and the low back, and keep your shoulders grounded here. Inhale. And exhale, release, bend through that right knee and send the right heel towards the hip. Bring your knee in towards center, coming into half wind pose again, and then bring both knees into center. Plant both soles of the feet on the ground. Send both feet out to either corner of your mat and snuggle the shoulders underneath your heart space. Palms face up towards the sky. We'll start to get settled in here for our final Shavasana. Completely start to relax your body, letting it melt into the mat or into the earth. Bring your attention to your breath and your body, and notice any sensations that you feel that you might find with that breath as it travels through your body, through your muscles, especially through those hips. Relax your shoulders, soften your shoulders, and relax your whole body into the mat. Feel free to pause the video here, but this is where I will leave you today, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this gentle hips flow. The light in me honors the light in you.